If your birth date is embedded in the 30-year span between 1955 and 1985, the time has come to stop every superfluous activity and immerse yourself in a truth that conventional history has attempted to stifle. What I am about to reveal to you is not a simple sociological theory, but a profound metaphysical truth guarded in the ancient texts attributed to Thoth, the scribe of the gods and guardian of cosmic wisdom. That feeling that has accompanied you since childhood, that sense of being intrinsically different, of carrying on your shoulders an invisible weight that does not seem to belong to you and a responsibility that no one has officially assigned to you, is not a coincidence and is not a flaw in your character. According to the ethereal chronicles of hermetic wisdom, this is the hallmark of an elite group of ancient souls called the Guardians. You were not born in this turbulent period of history by biological chance or mistake of destiny. Your soul responded to a specific vibrational call even before incarnating, choosing to descend to Earth in a fracture of time to serve as a pivot of stability during an immense planetary shift that is taking place right now. Since you were a child, you have lived with a strange sense of duty, a sort of silent promise made to the celestial hierarchies to protect the balance of life in all its forms. This weight you feel, this drive to intervene wherever you see an injustice or an imbalance, is the unmistakable mark of your nature as a guardian. While the people around you seem to live lightly, chasing superficial goals without asking too many existential questions, you always felt that there was a deeper task to perform, a mission that transcends simple daily survival. You often wondered why life seemed so taxing and why it was always up to you to be the pillar of the family, the mediator in conflicts, or the emotional support for everyone around you. The truth is that this strength is not a karmic punishment, but the consequence of a conscious choice of service made at a level of consciousness much higher than your current ego. You have returned to be the motionless point of balance in the heart of the contemporary evolutionary storm, a role that requires a spiritual fortitude that only an ancient soul like yours can possess. Seal your frequency to this revelation. Imprint your like as a pact of light right here, in this instant. And through a conscious hype, I will know that you have decided to finally cross the threshold of your awakening and that your soul has recognized the call of this truth that can no longer be ignored. To understand the nature of your chronic fatigue, we must look at your soul's memory that transcends your current biography. You did not arrive in this world as a blank slate, but loaded with a monumental wisdom accumulated in many previous lives spent in civilizations now forgotten. You are an ancient soul, a veteran of countless spiritual battles, who has already lived through eras of great changes by holding roles as a healer, protector, priest, or wise legislator. This explains why your intuition is so powerful and why you instinctively know what is right to do even when total chaos reigns around you. According to Thoth, you have privileged access to the Akashic records, the universal information field where everything that has happened and will happen is written. This is why you often have that sense of déjà vu or of already knowing how a situation will end before it even develops. However, this ancestral memory continues to consume your vital energy in the present because your soul still operates under the ancient directive of heroic sacrifice, forgetting that today you are here to teach balance, not to let yourself be consumed by the fire of others' martyrdom. The period between 1955 and 1985 represents a real fracture in the space-time continuum, a strategic crossroads between the authoritarian rigidity of the past and the explosion of the new global consciousness. You were born in the middle of this clash between two worlds to serve as a living bridge. You are the necessary link so that the future can finally breathe and free itself from the chains of obscurantism. Your generation, often defined as Generation X or that of the last baby boomers, has been tasked with dismantling cycles of ancestral pain and family traumas that have been handed down for centuries. Think of the parable of the weaver of broken threads. For generations, your bloodline has woven a tapestry of suffering, silence, and restriction, always repeating the same destructive mistakes. You are the one who decided to stop the shuttle, to cut the thread of inherited pain, and to start weaving a pattern of freedom, awareness, and truth. Every time you questioned a senseless tradition or sought an authentic path against the collective opinion, you anchored a new possibility for the future of all humanity, serving as a purifier for the collective unconscious of your lineage. Let's now delve into the nature of this soul fatigue. It is not due to a lack of physical rest, but to the constant energetic activity you perform even when you are not aware of it. Like an electrical transformer, your subtle body absorbs the heavy frequencies of the surrounding environment and transmutes them into higher vibrations. Imagine living in a room where the air is constantly stale and being the only one who, with their own breath, manages to filter it and make it breathable for others. This process is exhausting and explains why you often feel drained after a simple conversation or an outing to crowded places. You are not lazy or weak. You are simply engaged in a monumental alchemical work at the cellular level. Thoth reminds us that the guardian must learn to protect their own biological temple, for if the filter becomes clogged, the light can no longer pass through. Your fatigue is a sacred signal inviting you to withdraw, to recharge, and to understand that you are not here to carry the world on your shoulders, but to illuminate it through your presence alone, learning to manage your energy as the most precious asset the universe has entrusted to you. Your birth code is mathematically engraved in the frequency of the year you arrived, an energetic signature that defines your specific function within the Legion of Guardians. Thoth taught that time is a symphony and that each year emits a fundamental note. Those born in the first decade of this cycle, 1955 to 1965, often have the role of guardian of the structure, a soul tasked with maintaining moral integrity while the old institutions began to falter. Those born in the middle phase, 1965 to 1975, are pattern breakers, born with the sacred fire necessary to shake consciences and tear down the system's lies through doubt and rebellion. Finally, those born toward the close of the cycle, 1975 to 1985, are the guardians of the bridge, with the task of synthesizing spiritual visions with the technological and material reality of the new millennium. Understanding your original design means stopping the struggle against yourself. If you feel the need for solitude or if you find it difficult to adapt to the frantic rhythms of others, it is not a limit, it is your necessary configuration to preserve the frequency you must anchor on earth for the good of all. Every guardian carries within them a sacred wound, a point of extreme vulnerability that hermetic wisdom identifies with the archetype of the wounded healer. This heightened sensitivity, which often makes you feel too exposed or too fragile for this harsh world, is actually the gateway to your clairvoyance and your ability to heal others. You are like a spiritual seismograph. You perceive heavy vibrations and invisible cracks in reality long before they manifest materially. This gift allows you to sense if a person is lying, if an environment is toxic, or if a change is imminent, but it also exposes you to the world's pain. Healing for a guardian does not mean eliminating this sensitivity, but learning to govern it so that it does not become a destructive burden. You must learn to distinguish what is yours from what you have absorbed by mistake or through excessive empathy. Transforming your wound into wisdom means understanding that your pain has been the alchemical crucible where your ability to guide humanity out of its inner labyrinth was forged, making you a living compass for anyone who has lost their way in the mists of transition. To activate your real strength and move out of the state of being a victim of the world's weight, you must have the courage to face the forbidden territory, the deep silence of your higher mind. Modern society fears silence because it is there that the truths we have tried to ignore emerge. Your fears, your voids, but also the blazing power of your divine soul. For a guardian, silence is not a meditative hobby, but a vital necessity for vibrational recalibration. In that apparent void, you will begin to understand that many of your anxieties or sadnesses are not yours at all, but are echoes of ancestral memories or energetic residues picked up during your daily interactions. Regularly entering your inner space allows you to deprogram the limiting software inherited from your lineage, freeing you from ancient vows of poverty, patterns of sacrifice, or fears of persecution that no longer have a reason to exist in this new time. It is a process of alchemical purification where you transform the lead of suffering into the gold of radiant wisdom, allowing your true self to finally take command of your earthly existence and manifest your spiritual sovereignty. Consider now the power of spiritual epigenetics acting through you. Every time you have the courage to heal a trauma within yourself, you are literally rewriting the genetic code for your entire line of descent. You are the point of convergence where the blood of your ancestors meets the light of your awakened consciousness. Often, the weight you feel is not yours, but is the accumulated pain of 7 generations that preceded your arrival. Your soul accepted the monumental challenge of being the energetic purifier of your lineage, which explains why your life has been marked by challenges that seem disproportionate to your concrete actions. When you understand this sacred function, your sense of injustice vanishes to make room for an immense compassion toward yourself and your ancestors. You are no longer the black sheep of the family, but you are the redeemer of the lineage, the one who had the strength to look into the abyss of family pain and say, "This pattern stops here with me." This act of courage frees the souls of your ancestors and opens a door of light for future generations, ensuring that the vibrational slavery of the past never reproduces itself in the future. The supreme mission Thoth entrusts to you is the art of integrating opposites. You are not here to defeat darkness in an eternal battle, but to integrate it into the light of your awareness, making it useful for creation. You were born to be the sacred bridge between spirit and matter, between masculine and feminine, between heaven and earth. This means that your material life, your professional success, and your earthly relationships are the sacred laboratories in which you manifest your real spiritual mastery. Wisely managing money, building a career based on integrity, or nurturing healthy relationships are not worldly distractions, but concrete ways to anchor light in the density of the earth. When you find this perfect balance, you stop being a hostage to linear time and start living in the here and now, the only moment where the true magical power of creation resides. In the present, the noise of the anxious mind vanishes, and your divine intuition becomes an infallible compass allowing you to bring the right word or the correct action exactly when they are needed, acting as an unshakable anchor of calm for everyone around you. Think of the parable of the lighthouse on the cliff. A lighthouse does not run through the sea trying to save boats, but stands still, stable, and bright on its rock. If the lighthouse tried to dive into the water, it would go out and serve no one. In the same way, the awakened guardian must understand that their mission is not accomplished through exhausting effort or active intrusion into others' lives, but through their own inner stability. Your very vibration of peace, when authentic, has the power to order the chaos around you in an entirely natural and effortless way. People will be drawn to your energy because they unconsciously long for that same stability you emanate. By living in an upright and centered way, you become a point of reference for anyone who feels lost in the mists of planetary change. Your inner clarity illuminates the path for others not because you tell them what to do, but because your existence itself demonstrates that it is possible to remain upright, bright, and powerful even in the middle of the most violent storm, thus fulfilling the prophecy of active silence. Your true legacy is invisible to the eyes of the world but eternal in spirit, engraved not in stone monuments but in the collective consciousness field of humanity. Every time you chose compassion instead of judgment, every time you broke a chain of inherited hatred by choosing a path of forgiveness or truth, you healed an entire timeline that resonates through the centuries. The guardians born between 1955 and 1985 are the silent architects of the new era, those who paved the way so that themes like spirituality, biohacking, and self-knowledge could become accessible and accepted. Without your courage to be strange and out of tune in the past years, the revolution of consciousness we see today would not have been possible. Your life, with all its apparent wounds and silent victories, is the golden seed of a civilization that will fully bloom only generations from now, but which owes its very existence to your vibrational resistance. You are the pioneer who walked in the desert so that others could find the oasis, and this merit is engraved forever in the memory of the universe as an act of pure and unconditional love. Accepting your identity as a guardian means finally stopping the search for validation in a world that does not possess the parameters to understand you and finally returning home within yourself. There is nothing more to correct or seek outside. There is only being, with all the majesty and simplicity that entails. You are the living answer to a prayer whispered by your ancestors centuries ago during dark times, and you are the promise of a future that already feels your vibration of freedom and hope. When you honor your uniqueness without excuses, you stop fighting against destiny and start dancing with the universe, holding the world in the palm of your hand with the deep peace of someone who knows their mission is finally accomplished the instant they decide to shine. Your sensitivity is no longer a burden, but your crown. Your fatigue is no longer weakness, but the sign of your immense alchemical work. You have reached the end of your training and now it is time to manifest your glory, not for vanity, but as a living testimony of the divine light that dwells in every human being and that you have the task of guarding and protecting. For you, this is only the beginning of a new phase of power, clarity, and higher realization. Everything you have lived through, the hardships, the moments of deep loneliness, the great family responsibilities, and the wrenching doubts, had the sacred purpose of preparing you for this exact moment in history. The time of hiding, feeling inadequate, or trying to fit into social boxes too tight for the vastness of your soul is definitively over. It is time to walk with your head high, knowing in the depths of your being who you truly are and why you chose to be here at this precise instant. You are a guardian of the light, a keeper of eternal wisdom, and a pioneer of a new era of peace that has no equal in known history. Embrace your mission with joy and pride, knowing that you are never alone and that every one of your cells is supported by the entire universe in the task of manifesting excellence. Your rebirth is the rebirth of the world, and the veil of illusion dissolves definitively the instant you decide to fully inhabit your spiritual sovereignty, shining like a fixed star in the firmament of the new human consciousness. I am deeply grateful to you for having walked with me in this rediscovery, knowing that your transformation is the cornerstone for the healing of the entire world. Consecrate this passage by leaving a like, subscribe so as not to lose the path toward your sovereignty, and comment with the phrase, "I accept my mission," to anchor your sovereign power in the here and now. May your essence shine with the indomitable force of 1,000 suns and your life become a dance of perfect harmony, guided by the millenary wisdom you carry in your blood. May your inner coherence be your inviolable beacon, guiding you toward the boldest, most radiant, and unlimited expression of your divine potential in every word and action. May cosmic abundance resonate with every truth of yours and your rediscovered vitality be the most precious gift you offer to the entire world in this time of great transformation. Inhabit your power with love and shine beyond every temporal limit, for you are the living proof that light can never be defeated by shadows. See you soon.